Hey everybody, Verl Workman here. Welcome to today's webinar. Excited to have you here. So I have a kind of a funky situation. I'm calling from the Salt Lake International Airport, where I'm on my way to Orlando, Florida. Kind of an exciting getting out of the snow and into the sunshine. I want to welcome you all for being here. Looks like we have a great group today. As everybody's coming on, I want to make sure that we have the ability to interact with each other, be able to communicate and talk back and forth. So as you to the webinar today, just say hello in the chat box. Use your chat box. Let me make sure that you're here. And that's how we're going to communicate, because I'm going to have the chat box open as we talk about what we're doing. Great group. All right, looks like we have about 150 people on the call today and growing. So they're still coming on more and more. So I'm excited that you're here. We have a great topic. I've been focusing a lot in the last since Leverage 19, and I don't know how many of you were able to attend Leverage 19 with us, but what an incredible event it was for everybody who was able to attend that. This is our first webinar since Leverage. It was so much fun. I'm actually going to Orlando to look at locations for 2019 Leverage. So if you want to know a little bit about what we're thinking and where we're headed, I think we may be heading to Leverage 2019 in Orlando. If you're having a hard time hearing me, I apologize for that. I have a headset on. It's supposed to be noise canceling, so you shouldn't be able to hear all that. If you can't, if you're hearing a lot, it looks like a lot of people are saying that I'm not hearing background noise. A couple of you are. Let's see if I can deal with it a different way. I'm trying to think of another way that I could do that. I could use my phone and dial in, but then I would have to be hands. Then I'd have to use my hands. How's that right now? Every once in a while, someone in the background is going to talk. Does that sound better right now? Are you hearing me okay, everybody? Okay, great. As long as the announcer's not making any announcements in the background, we should be okay. So today we're talking about how to elevate your performance and what it takes to really take your business and your performance to a next level. And so I want to talk to you about what that means. I've been talking a long time about accountability and what accountability means. And accountability means that it's something that you choose, not something someone does to you. And as I've been thinking about that, I was literally on a call on Sunday. I was doing a Sunday school lesson, and I was teaching the young men about choices that they get to make in their life. And I was thinking about these young men and how every choice they make either opens doors or closes doors for them, either creates new opportunities or it takes away opportunities from them, and that every single choice matters. And the cool thing about being born in the country that we live in today, and the environment that we're in, if you're really anywhere in North America, you're in a free land where you get to have the ability to make your own choices. I love that we can choose. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do, but how you respond to things absolutely matters. Meaning, you can choose how you respond, but it either creates opportunities or it takes away opportunities. So let me share with you what I mean by that. So I'm going to give you 4 principles that I'd like you to think about today. The first one is, what you focus on determines how you feel. So think about that for just a minute. What you focus on absolutely determines how you feel. So if you focus on your blessings or things that you have in your life that are great, it makes you feel happy. If you focus on your challenges and why me, and I don't understand why things happen the way they do, then it makes you feel discouraged. If you focus on why buyers won't make a decision, then you feel like you can't move forward in the process and get them under contract. If you focus on why sellers want discounts and why they're choosing somebody else instead of you, and that's what you focus on, then that becomes your reality. What you focus on determines how you feel in a day. If you say and you focus on activities that generate appointments, then you get more appointments. And so what you focus on determines your feelings, how you feel internally. So I want you to think about that for a minute. The second principle is this. You get to choose what things mean in your life. Now, that's like deep thought for just a second. So I look at when the market shifted in '08 and everybody had this unbelievable, shift in the market. Some people decided that was going to be their excuse for failure, why things didn't work. Other people, hang on just a second. Okay, everybody, this should be a better audio. I switched off of my computer because it was picking up all the background noise from the airport. Now you should be able to hear me really well. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you hear me okay. Does that sound better? Okay. All right. Yeah, I hated that background noise. So I'm going to be on my phone, and it works with Bluetooth with my headset, but my headset got switched. So here we are. So here's number two. So number one is what you focus on is how you feel. Number two is you can choose what things mean. That means that if the economy changes and it goes down, you can mean, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my business, I better tighten up. Or you can choose what it means to you, and that it means that there's going to be a lot more opportunity. Agents are going to be getting out of the business. There's going to be people that are going to be in distressed situations that need my help. So you can choose what things mean to you. That's a very powerful tool that you have, and that is the ability to choose what things mean. Number three is you get to decide what you're going to do. So when anything happens in your life, you get to choose what it means. And I'm telling you, this is a big deal. Whatever you choose the meaning is becomes your reality. So stay with number two for a minute. I want to stay on this for just a second. When, I've had some big things happen in my life. And one of the things is I lost my father-in-law. And when I lost my father-in-law, he was a good man, 66 years old, to pancreatic cancer. The way that I responded to that is that, I don't get to choose what happens, but I get to choose how we move forward. And so while I miss him every day and I miss his interaction, it doesn't change the way I operate in my life. Meaning I move on, I still have my children and my wife, and we're happy, and we do things, and we focus on things that we can control. That was something I couldn't control. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, 10 years ago, lost her husband. And what it meant to her is it changed the way she looks at everything. She can't have fun with her friends because they can't go out as couples. Her husband used to do everything for her. She's depressed and sad all the time. And no matter what happens, she always ties it back into something negative that she feels herself. So something happens to you, you have the ability to choose what it means to you. And I want you to think about that. You get to choose. So you get to choose success. You get to choose failure. You get to choose prospect. You get to choose not. You get to choose what things mean to you. And so when someone's trying to hold you accountable, you can choose that they're jerks and they're trying to hold me accountable because I don't want that in my life. Or you can make a decision that someone's trying to hold me accountable because they really care about me or love me and they want to see me succeed. So if you choose the right thing, it changes how you feel. And it changes how you respond to different things that happen in your life. Now, this is kind of deep, this concept that I'm going to share with you today. The third thing is we get to decide what we're going to do. And I believe that there's three options. The first option is you can quit. Things are hard, so I'm going to quit. I can't get what I want out of someone, so I'm going to fire them. You can quit. You can give up. The second thing is, this is what a lot of people do, is they wait to see what happens. And so they go into wait and see mode. Well, I'm going to wait and see what everybody else does. Then I'm going to decide. I'm going to wait and see if the other buyer's agent's on the team prospect. Then I'm going to prospect. I'm going to wait and see if 61 points really works. Then I'm going to decide to do 61 points. The third thing you can choose to do is you can focus. So when adversity happens, hold on just a minute while the car wheels by. Or he's going to stop right here. So the third thing you can do is you can focus and grow. So when something happens in your life, you can quit, you can wait and see. At the Salt Lake Airport, there's no private rooms. I would have rented a private room to do this call, so I apologize for any of the background, but you just have to choose to not let it bother you. So the third thing is we can focus and grow. And so when adversity happens, one of the choices you have is to just dial in and really get focused and grow. From a very young age, from the time I was 11-year-old and my dad was disabled and spent the rest of his life in a nursing home, I've made choices that when things get hard, I'm not going to rely on other people to provide whatever it is I need. If I want to play baseball or if I wanted to get on a team or if I wanted to buy cleats, I had to focus on something that would generate revenue so that I could be able to participate because no one was going to give it to me. And as a very young kid, I had to learn how to focus if I wanted to grow. So you can quit, you can wait and see, or you can focus and grow. And you have to decide what you prefer. The last thing is that you can choose to do the right things every day. And you have to make a decision in your life that you're no longer going to accept the fact that you don't get to have a choice. Now think about that. You no longer have the ability to use the excuses, I don't get to choose what happens to me, because you can choose how you respond to everything. This whole session today on increasing your productivity is all about deciding that you have the power to choose. You have this God-given agency and this opportunity to be put in this world at this time. And now it's up to you to make a choice on what you want to do with it. And I hope that for you, that your choice is to make a difference in other people's lives. And what that means in real estate means that you're going to serve more buyers, you're going to serve more sellers, you're going to serve your team members, and all of those things combined give you the ability to create a greater impact on the family that you serve. And so if you choose to make a difference, that means that you're going to choose different activities. So let me show you what that means. Now I'm going to just kind of break through. I would love someone who would like to kind of talk to me on the call today. And I don't know if I think I can have the ability to unmute you. Who would like to have like a live session with me where we talk about some of the choices you get to make, and I'm going to help you elevate your performance to a whole different level. Someone who's not a client, someone who's not a coaching client, that is just joining us, that wants to know what they can do differently to elevate their performance in 2019. Somebody raise your hand for me. Chet, you can help me unmute them. Okay, Audra. Audra, you're the first person. Let me see if we can unmute you. Chet, do I have the ability to do that? Will you go in and see if you can unmute Audra Atkinson? Audra, can you hear me?
We have Tanya Redding. Tanya Redding, can you hear us?
I can.
Oh, Tanya got it. Okay, great. Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Great, Verl. How are you?
I'm out of control. Great. And you know why? Are you there, Tanya?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. You want to know why I'm so good? Because I choose to be great.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
It's in line with our thought process for the day. So Tanya, just give me a quick snapshot. Tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, the last 2 years, my business has actually been down. Of course, last year I had 2 graduations, 2 weddings, and 1 child that went off to college within 5 months. So I was a little busy.
Wow. Yep, that's a lot.
I did 26 transactions. I did a little bit over 8 million, but I need to do twice that much. Now that my kids are gone and I'm an empty nester, I feel like it's time to start worrying about retirement, so I can start spending time with my soon-to-be grandchildren and that type of thing. So I want to work smarter, not harder.
Okay, so how many units did you close in 2018? How many sales did that turn out to be? Sorry, I've got to plug in my iPad while I'm talking to you so I can take some notes.
All right, give me a second.
So you did about 8 million. What's your average sales price?
$329.
Okay, $329. So 3 times 3 is about $9,000 commission on average.
Well, depending on if
right?
it depends on if it's my business or if it's the office business. You know how New Millennium works.
Okay, so you're at New Millennium?
I am.
Okay, awesome. We have a ton of great clients at New Millennium. It's a fun company to work with. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want you to control your outcome for 2019, meaning that you focus on business that you can control, not business that comes to you from other sources. And so if 100% of your revenue has to come from business that you generate, how do you feel about that?
That would be great.
Okay, so in order to make that happen, we have to figure out what your goal is. So what you want to do is you want to do more than your 8 million. So let's move it to 16 million because I'm a double guy. So we got to go from 8 to 16 million. So what has to happen in Tanya's life in order to get to 16 million? First of all, you're going to have to choose to do the work. How do you feel about that concept, the power of choice? Do you think it's going to be easy?
Absolutely. It's going to be easy because I'm a positive thinker.
Okay, good. Well, it's simple, meaning that the concepts are going to be simple, but it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to do work. You're going to have to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, so simple is good. It's going to be simple, but it's not going to be easy. Someone's going to have to do the work. So I want to do 16 million. And so do you have your calculator? Can you do some math with me really quick?
Give me just a second. I'm actually working from home because I had surgery on my foot last Thursday, so I'm not weight bearing. So, all right, got it.
That's okay. For everyone that's listening in, I want to do this with all of you, and I'm going to show you a few tools. I'm going to share my screen with you here in a minute. I'm going to start with doing some math to figure out where she needs to be. Let me see if I can get this plug to work. Okay, so 16 million. I want you to just do an average. So this is business you're going to generate, and I want to take 16 million. Somebody that is in the chat with a calculator, take 16 million divided by 9,000 and tell me how many units that is. Or sorry, 16 million. That's not the right number. Divided by 379,000. I know I've got lots of people on the call that have their calculators right with them.
42.216.
42 units. That's great. Now divide that by 12.
$3.518.
Okay, so it's 3.5. So it's four closings a month. That's only one a week. Now, is it realistic? Are you doing this full time? Can you work full time in real estate?
I have been doing it full time for 18 years.
Okay, so we need to get to a place where you're doing one sale a week. That's only one a week. That's 4 sales a month. And that's only one a week. Now, in order to get that, you're going to have to focus on some activities that generate real results. Are you with me on this?
Yes,
so
sir.
if you have to do one sale a week, now doing this full time, if you're focused on the right activities and you choose to focus on the right activities, how many appointments do you need in order to list a property? So how many listings do you have to go on in order to get one listing?
I don't know, probably 25.
Okay, so that's not right. So
okay, I don't know.
So if you're okay, do you go on listings? Do you work primarily with buyers?
I primarily do listings.
Okay, so when you go on a listing appointment, what's the likelihood that you're going to list the house?
90%.
You get most of the ones you go on? Okay,
correct.
So it's not 25 to get one. It's let's say you have to go on 2 appointments to get one listing.
Okay.
And so you're going to close 50%. Now that's not as good as you're doing. The reason you get 90% today is because you're only going out with people that already know you. You're not prospecting and looking for new business. You're going out with referrals, and you're doing the things that Buffini taught and all of those great things that generate opportunities, but you're not going on enough of them. Would that be fair to say?
Correct.
And so in order to get one listing every week or 4 listings a month, you have to go on 2 listing appointments a week.
Okay.
And so if you want to learn how to go on 2 listing appointments a week, I'm going to now share my screen with you. Let's go to I have lots of things open, but not the screen I want. Let's go to Google.
I'm in the middle of doing your BAM session actually at New Millennium right now, which
awesome.
I feel like has been awesome.
Thank you. I love that you're doing that. Okay, so what I'm going to open up right here is I'm going to open up your training center. And so the first thing we have to do is we have to, how many active listings do you have right now, real quick?
I have
how many?
2 active listings. I have 6 getting ready to come up in the next month.
Oh, great. You have 2 active and 6 on the way. So you're off to a great start.
I'm trying.
And all you need is how many a week?
1.
One new listing a week. If you get one new listing a week in 2019, it'll be the best year you've ever had in real estate. And you're a little bit behind, but you're not that far behind. So we're only 6 weeks in if you have 2 listings that are active and you have several coming up. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to understand that the activities you focus on every day are either going to move you closer to that goal or further away from that goal. And that you have to be intensely obsessed with listing houses. And so the activities that you focus on have to be directly related to that. So I want you to go into your Daily Success Habits Tracker, which is in session 2 of your Buyer Agent Mastery in the Training Center. And I want you to click on the Daily Success Habits Tracker. So I'm opening it up so you see it on the screen right now. With your Daily Success Habits Tracker, are you using your DSH now?
I am.
Okay, good. And so the way that you measure a win every day, if you want to elevate your performance in business, and this is for everybody on the call, if you want to elevate your performance, if you want to close more transactions, if you want to have a higher net income, you have to focus on the activities that generate the result. And I learned a long time ago that which gets measured gets done. And if you don't take the time to measure it and you don't actually focus on the right things, then what happens is you finish your day and you're tired and you don't feel like you've done anything that moves you closer to your goals. And so at the end of every day, what I want for you, Tanya, is I want you to be able to tell me yes or no, was today a win? And determine the activities that constitute a win in your life or in your business. And so for right now, we know that every week you need 2 listing appointments, and you need 1 net listing. And so to clearly identify what means a win to you 5 days a week is, did I get a listing appointment today? Is it a yes? If it's a yes, if I got one, it's a win. If you didn't get a listing appointment, it's not. And so every day when you get up, you're intensely obsessed on getting listing appointments. We know that you need to get that 2 listing appointments a week, or you need to get, and I would say that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you focus on listing appointments and you don't do anything else until you get the listing appointments you need for the week. And you track it by how many dials it takes. Now, how are you going to get those 2 listing appointments? What are the activities that you're going to focus on to generate those 2 listing appointments?
Well, I've been doing a lot of mailers. I've been doing direct. I have 3 neighborhoods that I'm sending direct mailing to. I do Buffini, so I have the mailers that I send out once a month to my SOI. I've just
Perfect.
Tommy Higgins and I actually are working together, and so I've just sat down and taken my 539 people in my CRM and focusing on just the top 60 that I have, and so I'm doing Popeyes every week to those, and then making phone calls to try and touch base with these people.
Okay, so you're not going to be able to list 40 houses out of your top 60. So we have to have 4 different ways of setting 2 appointments a week. One of them is your top 50 group, your Buffini group, your friends and relationships. I want you to keep doing that. But you need to come up with 4 different ways of generating 2 appointments a week. If you go into the SLAM videos in your training center, and you go into Finding Motivated Sellers, you see my screen?
Well, I've got it on my screen actually as well.
Okay. So you click on Finding Motivated Sellers. There's sessions on geographic farming, for sale by owners, direct mail, lead conversion and follow-up, and turning 1 client into 7. I want you to go through each of those videos and watch them. And then I want you to decide what your other 3 pillars are going to be. Are you going to work Red X and do for sale by owners and expireds? Are you going to do, so you've got your geographic farm could be your second one, but you've got to know your numbers. So using your lead tracker, I want you to be able to tell me where every lead comes from. Did it come from a pop buy? Did it come from a geographic farm? Did it come from FSBOs and expired calls? So that we know exactly how many dials it's going to take on your daily success tracker to generate the 2 appointments that you need every single week. And those 2 appointments are going to turn into at least 1 listing. That's the focus. Now, the next thing you want to do is you have to decide what time of your day are you going to spend focusing on looking for new business. So there's only 3 things you should do in real estate. Do you want to guess what they are?
I'll let you tell me.
The first one is prospect. Looking for new business. The second one is showing or negotiating. Showing homes or listing homes. and the third one is negotiating contracts. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to get a copy of your perfect week scheduler. Now, for everybody else that's on the call that's paying attention here, I'm going to give you a landing page at the end of the call today that you can download the Daily Success Habits Tracker that I've been showing. And I also want you to, Tanya, and I'm also going to give you this perfect week scheduler, which is in Google Drive. So what I want you to do is in advance of your week, I want you to go out, I want you to outline when you're going to spend prospecting. The only thing that matters in your business right now, if you want to double going from 8 million to 16, is you've got to focus on 2 listing appointments a week. What's your focus, Tanya?
2 listing appointments a week.
Right. And so everything else is fake work, meaning if it's not something directly related to getting those 2 listing appointments a week or going on those 2 appointments a week, I don't want you to do it. I want you to delegate it, outsource it, use the company's transaction coordinator to do transaction coordinating for you. I want you to get everything else off your plate that is not directly related to 2 listing appointments a week. Can you commit to that?
Yes, sir.
Do you think it's doable?
Absolutely.
I do. Not only do I think it's doable, I know it's doable. And so now it's a focus of figuring out your 4 pillars of income, tracking your daily success tracker, and then scheduling using your perfect week scheduler in advance so those things actually happen. And so that's a really cool clarity. Now, if you'll focus on those things, do you think it's going to elevate your income in 2019?
Absolutely.
And so what will you do when you double your income this year? What will you do with the money? Why is that important to you?
Because on my business plan, my top goal was to be debt free by the end of the year.
And will you be able to accomplish it if you hit 16 million in sales?
Yes.
And so, why is getting out of debt important to you? How does that make you feel?
It's depressing.
Yeah, it's like you're working to give money to somebody else. Debt is bondage. And so I love that you have getting debt-free as a goal, and I love that you have it as a real why because it's a core motivating value. If I were coaching you and I were your coach, we would spend, and I would have all of your debt on a spreadsheet, and with every closing, we would figure out how much we have to put into each category until we move that debt that zeroes out by the end of the year. And so make sure that you have a system and a plan in place to recognize what the debt is, how you're going to pay it off, and make sure that you're disciplined as your transactions come in to pay that debt off, and it's going to happen for you.
Okay.
All right. Congratulations. You have clarity. So to elevate our performance, we choose to elevate the activities that generate that performance. Now I'm going to go to our questions and answers, and I'm going to open this up for everybody. Let me bring all my participants up here. There's my chat right there. Okay. So, Tanya, do you have any questions for me on what you have to do to hit your goals?
No, sir.
Okay. And you got a commitment to it, and you need to I want you to send me an email, and I want you to copy Tommy and tell him what you committed to today, and that you're going to focus on 2 appointments a week, and you're not going to go home at night on Friday until you have those 2 appointments. You're going to be intensely obsessed with those 2 listing appointments every single week until you get them.
Yes, sir.
All right. I can't wait to see that email from you and copy Tommy on it. Let's make it happen. And then I'm going to high five you next time in the DC area, and we're doing an event through your company. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Okay. So as I went through this with Tanya, and I was talking about the activities that generate the results, using your chat box, tell me what you were discovering about your own business and what choices you have to make differently if you want to make that happen in your own business. Because what I want everybody to have a clear understanding that you have the power to choose. No one's going to make Tanya list more houses or get to 16 million this year. She has to choose what activity she's going to focus on, and it's a choice. It's like, this is getting so clear for me. Every time I talk about this with someone, what it does for me is it helps me get clarity. Victoria says, I need to stop working on too much fake work. And so, Victoria, I want you to take a different approach and say that I'm going to choose to delegate, or I'm going to choose to move things off of my plate. Who are you going to move it to? Because a lot of times those things have to happen, but you don't. And we have a tendency, and this is really everybody, we have a tendency to gravitate towards activities that are less uncomfortable. They're comfortable for us, so we gravitate to them, and then we focus on those activities, but they're not necessarily the activities that are going to give us the greatest result. And so you have to delegate those to somebody else. They still need to be done, and it doesn't require you to do it. So I want you to delegate it to somebody else, choose who you're going to delegate it to, and then give a system so that they can actually do it. Okay, Jason, you say you got to spend more time on dollar productive activities. Isn't that the truth? Okay, Beth, good to hear. Good. I'm glad you're on the call today. I'm going to choose to find an assistant to focus on my 4 pillars. Okay, let's change that. I'm going to choose to find an assistant so that I can focus on my 4 pillars. Nobody can choose what you do at your day other than you. And it's a choice to be successful. It's a choice to be average. It's a choice to focus on things that don't give you the results that you want. And so you have to choose what you're going to focus on and give everything else to your assistant. I love that. All right, anybody else have a thought? Let me go back to my chat here. I got lots of windows going here. Let me open up my chat here. Do you guys see my chat when I put it on the screen? So does everybody see that? Okay, good. Oh, Troy says I don't. Nicole says she does. Okay, so I don't know why there's a difference between those two. Oh, you can't see in my chat box. Okay, that's what you're saying. All right, so what is it that you have to choose to focus on different than what you've currently been focusing on if you want to have a better result? So you remember my first thing in your power to choose is what you focus on is what you feel. And so what do you have to focus on if you want to feel success, if you want to be happy? What are the things that you need to change in your focus right now? So I'm going to ask this of the group, and I want to just have an open discussion about this. You know, it's really easy for me to tell you what you need to do, but what I want to do is I want to share with things that will help you individually. So don't be afraid of rejection. That's right. So Charlene, that's a great one. So if you're focused on rejection and how rejection is personal and it makes you feel bad because people are rejecting you, then the result of that is you don't want to prospect. So think about that. So if you're focused on rejection, then the result of that is I don't want to prospect because I don't want to be rejected. So what you want to focus on is there's people out there that need your help. Charlene, when you talk to someone or when you win a client and you actually serve them, do you believe there's any other agent on the planet that does a better job of serving that client than you? Is there anybody on the planet? Okay, so you believe you're the best agent in the world that can help that person buy or sell a home. But if you don't prospect, you never have the opportunity to serve them. And so when you're making your prospecting calls, if you focus on the rejection, then you won't want to make the call and you feel bad. But if you focus on, I really want people to be happy, and I know there's no one else out there that can help them as good as me, and you focus on the fact that you want to serve them, and when somebody rejects you, it's because they don't really know your true intent. It's really on them, not you. So rejection isn't targeted at you. It's that someone's not opening to having a great experience, and so you got to quickly make the next call because there's so many people out there that need you. Focus on the service you provide, not the rejection that you might get when you make calls. All you want to do is find one more person to serve today. That's it. Haven't you seen what's the movie where what's the kid's show? I'm trying to think of what Boss Baby that says, you know, cookies are for closers and I eat rejection for lunch. Rejection is what you want for lunch, and cookies are for closers. You got to change your mindset, guys. It's what you focus on changes how you feel. So Charlene, let's focus on your ability to serve people. I love that. Okay, let me get another one. Martha says, I want to be more focused on prospecting and having confidence in what I'm doing. Okay, so there's so much that's being said, Martha, in your comments right there. What you're saying is that I have to be more focused. Yes, that's true. That's why we do the perfect week. So I want you to do your perfect week and make the commitment to plan your weekend in advance of when you're going to prospect. It's not that you need more focus on prospecting. You just flat out need to prospect. You don't need to focus on it. You just need to do it. What you focus on becomes your reality. So you want to prospect because prospect gives you the opportunities to make a difference in your life. But if you aren't prospecting, it's not going to move the needle. So prospecting is fun. Prospecting is how we crank. Prospecting is where we get an opportunity to serve. And so for you, it's I have to prospect more, and you have to make a commitment how much more. Look, if you don't have 15 listings right now, you need to prospect 3 hours a day. So you need to prospect 3 hours a day. So decide what time block you're going to prospect 3 hours a day. It's just a choice. It's not that somebody has more time than you. It's that you're choosing to do different things with your time. You get to choose what things mean. So when somebody hangs up on you when you're prospecting, you get to choose what that means. It doesn't mean they're rejecting you. They don't even know you. So if you feel rejected, then you're choosing that it rejects you. Oh, Connie, I love your humor. Connie says, I notice there's no time on your perfect schedule for webinars. Well, guess what? When there is time on my perfect schedule, when there is webinars on my schedule, I put it in here. This is a sample schedule for a buyer's agent. Okay, Wanda has had a couple of comments on here, and I want to talk to Wanda. Wanda says, I've tried everything from mailings to cold calling to FSBOs and expired listings. I'm not afraid to try, yet I'm having a very hard time finding prospects. I blog, I do social media. Any ideas? So, Wanda, are you on a team? So I'm going to talk to Wanda for just a minute. Jen,
no.
Are you able to unmute Wanda? What is this, Wanda?
Yes.
Hi, Wanda, are you on a team?
No, it's basically a small office, and it's the broker and 2 agents, myself and another person.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that the best trainer for success in real estate is the game. And that I believe that if you're struggling finding success, that you're not in an environment where success is being broadcast. You're not in an environment where you get to hear successful people on the phones making calls. You're not going on listing appointments with people that are getting the listing. You're not in an environment where there's lots of things that are happening, a lot of productivity. You may be in the right brokerage, but you're not plugged into the right people. So if your broker and the other agents in your office are productive, I'm going to challenge you to spend as much time as you can with them on every appointment until you start seeing what it takes for them to get the success that they're having, and then go in and try and duplicate it yourself. And if that doesn't work, then the second option is that I think that for me, I think that getting on a team where they have lots of leads and lots of opportunities, and they need someone that can go out and be great at converting those leads and converting those buyers and sellers into real appointments and getting them under contract, you'll do a lot more transactions at a lower commission, but you'll take home a lot more money. And so the game is the best teacher of real estate. And so I'm a big believer in getting into an environment where there's a lot of transactions happening, and then just learn everything I can from it. And as long as that environment provides you with what you're looking for, stay there. And then when it doesn't, then you get to a place where you build your own business. And so for me, if you're struggling with something, put yourself in a different environment. You have to change the environment to change the outcome.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Great comments. Christina says that, bro, I'm looking to find different methods of prospecting that are efficient for me as I'm working a full-time job. So, Christina, I'm going to tell you that prospecting when you're working a full-time job is hard, but is your full-time job during the day or is it at night? So if your full-time job's in the day, I'm going to tell you the best time to prospect at night anyway. And so if you're prospecting at night and you just say, like, every day when I'm done with my full-time job, I'm going to prospect for 1 hour until I get one appointment, either a buyer appointment or a listing appointment. And so your commitment is that I'm going to prospect every night for either 1 hour or until I get one buyer appointment or one listing appointment. And so you prospect every day until you get an appointment. If you'll do that for 60 days, you'll be able to quit your full-time job because you'll have so much business in real estate. It's not that you need different methods of prospecting. It means that you need to pick up the phone. There is no substitute for real communication with people. You have to dial for dollars. Who do you call? You call your top 50. If you don't know who that is, I'll give you the downloadable ebook in my link at the end of this webinar today. And you create a list of your top 50 people who are most likely to send you one referral this year. You call them once a month, and you have a personal touch with them. You call 4 sub-owners and expireds. You call around a house. One of the things that I found really effective right now in prospecting is when you list a property is if you use a company like RedX, you can get a thing called a storm dialer, and you can also buy enhanced leads. So I can have a house, and I can tell RedX to tell me all of the phone numbers of the closest 200 houses around that listing. then I can get on the phone with those 200 houses and I can say, I've just listed a home. Do you know anyone that wants to move in the neighborhood? I've just listed a home. This is what the price is. Do you know anyone else that wants to sell, in case I have someone that wants to buy that house and they're not interested in it? And so we do what's called circle prospecting. If you don't have any money and you don't want to make phone calls, then you knock on 200 doors around that property. But you do activities around a listing. If you don't have any listings, then go find an agent in your office that has listings and say, do you mind if I circle prospect around your property? And they'll say, well, what does that look like? You say, I go knock on people and I drive them to your house. If I get an appointment, I'm going to list their house. If I get a buyer that comes in, I'll represent them as a buyer. People will absolutely let you do that. You just have to decide to do something rather than nothing. And, you know, the whole concept of buying leads, in my opinion, I think is what you do when you already have so much business that now you're trying to feed your team. I think that we really rely heavily on, you know, the internet to generate leads for us. And those leads are generally converted at 1 or 2%. But when I go out and knock doors, or when I circle prospect around a listing, now I have the opportunity to talk to people and I'm not selling anything. I'm just having a nice conversation with them. You know, I just want to let you know I've listed a house. It's not confrontational. Same thing when you're knocking doors. Just let you know I put your neighbor's house on the market. A lot of the people in the neighborhood wanted to know what it's selling for. So this is here's a flyer on the property. Oh, by the way, who do you know that might want to move? Or if I have someone that doesn't want that house and they like your house, would you be interested if I had a buyer willing to pay top dollar for a house like yours? And if they say yes, you say, well, great, tell me about your house. And you start building your relationship. What you focus on becomes your truth. And you get to choose what things mean. And you get to decide what you're going to do. You can quit. You can see what happens to the market or interest rates or the economy, or you can focus on the right activities and you can grow. But if you do the right things, and I'm going to go back to your daily success, I got all these windows open. If you go back to your daily success habits tracker and you focus on the right things, what happens is you get to choose success. And it's not something that someone does to you. You know, when you're successful, I think it's really funny. Some people like to say when you're successful, you know, people get arrogant or they get conceited or cocky. Well, when you're successful, guess what? It's because you chose to do the right activities. And when you fail and when you don't get the results you want and you're not having success in your business, it's because you chose the wrong activities. So you get to take the credit when you succeed, but you also have to accept the blame when you fail. It's not the market's fault or somebody else's fault or something else in the world that's happening that causes you to fail. It's your choice. And you get to choose what you focus on, and you get to choose the activities you do. You get to choose whether or not you're going to track them. You get to choose whether or not you have a coach, and you get to choose whether or not you're going to be successful in your business and in your life. And I hope that you choose to do something different as a result of this call today. I'm going to give you another one. Let me open up my chat window again, and let's see what's coming up here. Okay, Howard has a question. He said, what website do I go to get RedX? Hey, Chet, will you put in the downloadable link, our link to RedX, so that they can easily get to RedX and make that so it's easy to get there? So RedX, I know Chet will put that in there. Okay, Audra, I love your question. Audra just asked a question. I'm going to share this with everybody. Audra's asked this question. She said, when a client asks, how's the market? And me being new, I'm nervous to answer that question because of lack of knowledge. And I don't just want to say it's great. Is there any recommendations for being new to have confidence? Let me tell you why I love that question. First of all, if you focus on the fact that you're new, other people will feel it. So we're going to focus on something different. And so I want you to change your focus. Remember, the very first thing I said is what you focus on is how you feel. And if you focus on being new, how does that make you feel? It makes you feel a lack of confidence. So what I want you to focus on is the market. I want you to become a student of the game. I want you to go in and I want you to look at all of the neighborhoods that you serve and make a list of them. And I want you to go in and I want you to look at most recent sales, average sales price, how many active listings are in the market, what they were a year ago versus today. And I want you to do that research. You can also subscribe to a program called Keeping Current Matters. If you have a program called Keeping Current Matters, they're constantly telling you what the trends are and what's going on in the marketplace. And so when somebody asks you how the market is, you give them a really good answer. You know, one of our master coaches, Cleve Gaddis, He says there's always three answers to the question, how's the market? It's either a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. And depending on what's happening and the data that's happening in your area, you'll be able to answer it's a buyer's market, and here's why. It's a seller's market because there's less than 30 days of inventory on the market. And it's a balanced market, meaning it's neither a buyer's nor a seller's market. Things are selling for about 95% of the ask price. And when anybody asks you how the market is, you always give them a strong answer. It's a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. And when you finish answering the question with real data, then you ask, why do you ask? So whenever you answer the question on how's the market, you always answer and then ask the question, why do you ask? You're thinking about selling or buying a property. You always want to answer with a question. Okay, great. Love that you have that. So, Audra, we're not going to focus on whether or not you're a new agent. Nobody cares you're new. But matter of fact, nobody even cares about you. And I'm going to say this to everybody. No one cares about any of you in the transaction. And if you think they do, then you're suffering from ego. And I'm telling you that no one cares about you. You know what they care about? They care about themselves. They care about whether or not their family's going to get what they need in a home. They care about whether or not their kids are going to go to the right school or be able to play sports in the right area. They care if they're going to be close to their in-laws who are aging. Never in the what I'm going to decide on buying or selling a house do I think about my realtor. The realtor doesn't matter in the transaction. Our clients care about themselves. And if you focus on them and what's in it for them and you give them answers that provide them with what's going to give them what they need the most, then they're going to choose you as the agent to help them with that process. How do you guys feel about that concept? No one cares about you. It's all about them. And the minute you take yourself out of the transaction, that's when you can learn how to delegate and build a business that actually has real value. So let me give you an example, okay? So let me give you an example. Somebody asked me, how do I delegate? How do I, let's see, it says, how do I find different, I'm looking for the right question here. How do I find the right people, the right help to delegate? So the first thing I'm going to tell you, James, if you're not currently coaching with us at Workman, what we do is we hire slowly and we fire quickly. And so if I go into my Workman folders here real quick, let me open this up for you. What happens is if you are coaching with a Workman coach, we have a whole process for hiring. And so we go into I'm looking for I hate the way that this training center thing opens up here. Let me open up my Workbench. If I were to open up Workbench for you really quick, I have so many windows here, it's taking a minute. What happens is we have a whole process for hiring buyer's agents, listing partners, administrative assistants. The biggest challenge and the reason people don't hire is because they don't know how to delegate or what to delegate. And so we created a program called the Training Center. And in the Training Center, we have everything in this Training Center for buyer's agents, listing agents, and administrative assistants. And it's how to train them to be rock stars in every position. And so in Welcome to AMP, for example, we talk about and we teach you how to create operational excellence, how to build your CRM correctly, how to set up your lead management and transaction management properly, all the workflows. And then one of the most important things is in the Welcome to AMP section, it talks about understanding your role as the team leader in hiring an assistant and understanding the assistant's role in the program. And so we give you the details on really what you need. You can subscribe to the Training Center. You don't have to be a coaching client, but it's like $97 a month. Anybody has access to that. And so it's cheap. So if you're going to hire someone, you hire someone here. If you really feel like you want some help, we actually have a whole interview process, the questions you ask, the job descriptions, the compensation, what things you should delegate, your coaches involved in the hiring process. A lot of people really feel like they want more help in the hiring process. And so we've put together a whole program for that. So if I went into a client's Workbench, this is our Workbench. And inside the Workbench, there's an area called the Resource Library. I apologize. If I go into the Resource Library, inside the Resource Library is literally everything you need. All of those documents to hire, the job descriptions, and everything you need to be able to help that client, to help that person be onboarded in your business. I apologize. It's too slow. It's not loading fast enough for me. Let me open up my chat box for you. Okay, so Thomas wanted to know what was $97 a month. That's my training center. And so you can go to .com, and you can click on the link and you can just say, I want training, and you can subscribe to this whole training center. And that's the buyer agent training, the listing agent training, and the admin training. And we didn't really build it to sell it, so I sometimes forget to even talk about it on these webinars. I built it because we're coaching so many people that are trying to grow their business that we wanted to be able to give them the resources that they needed when they hired a listing partner or a buyer's agent or an administrative assistant. So we built it to use it for our clients, and now we make it available to everybody. So it's there if you want that. Okay, next question is, how long, in your opinion, would it take someone to become knowledgeable at the market? Audra, every day, like every day you should block at least 2 hours a day studying the market. You already know more than you realize, and you know more than your clients. You just need to look at trends. And so what I would do is I would get in. I would probably, if I were you, I would subscribe to the Workman Success Training Center, get a subscription to that, and then I would start going through Buyer Agent Mastery. Then I would go through Admin Mastery or AMP. Then I would go through Listing Agent Mastery. And inside that, we teach you what you should learn and where you should go in the market to get the information to be able to become an expert. So just start becoming a student of the game of real estate. The other thing is start showing vacant houses. Go out, show vacant houses. Set yourself up on auto hot sheets as if you're a buyer in each of those neighborhoods and start looking at what's going on. I'm still becoming a student of the market. Like today, I still study the market. And so there's no end to that. That's something that should be an ongoing process as you become an expert. If you want to elevate your performance and you want to elevate your conversations, you want to elevate your conversions, then you just have to constantly be a student of the game. So thank you for that question. Okay, the next question was, what kind of marketing pieces are you sending out to monthly farm areas? And so if I were to go into the training center and I were to go into SLAM, the Seller Listing Agent Mastery, and let's see if we have samples of that in here. So finding motivated sellers would be the section that I would go into. And in finding motivated sellers, I'd go into geographic farming. And in geographic farming, what we did is we took agents who are listing more than 250 houses a year, and we took their postcard examples, their buyers letters that we send out, the community site that they create for specific communities, and we actually put samples of that right inside the training center. And so we built that right into the training center. So that's how you get access to that. So that's the easiest way, Donna, for you to get access there. There's so much data in here. Like I apologize for not doing a better job of getting people excited about it. I think everybody should be in the training center. Okay, another question was, how does the dialer numbers work? So on the Daily Success Habits Tracker, the way that the Daily Success Habits Tracker works is this, is that every time you make a dial, you put a hash mark in it or you click it. If you're using Adobe, it's automated. So you click on the Daily Success Habits Tracker, it makes a hash mark. If you click it a second time, it means you had a conversation, that makes an X. And so what you want to do is you want to know how many dials it takes to have a conversation, how many conversations does it take to have an appointment. And then once you know those numbers, then you're able to know everything in your business and what that looks like. So let me give you an example. Let me go to my Workbench. Let's see if it closed it really quick. Sorry, Chet, I'm looking for this. Chet, can you give everybody the website address to download the documents for today? Oh, here it is. It'll open here. There it is. Okay, in order to get your perfect week scheduler, your daily success habits, and if you'd like to get a business consult, when I'm talking to you like this, I hope that you're getting good information. These webinars, I always want to share with you something of value that gives you some ideas or things that you can do to improve your business. But also, the purpose of the webinar is to really give you the opportunity to ask yourself this question: is it time for me to choose to get some help? And if it's time for you to choose to get some help, click on Elevate Performance. It says right here, workmansuccess.com, Elevate Performance. When you download the Perfect Week and the Daily Success Habits Tracker, it's going to ask you if you would like to do a business consultation. And all that means is that you're going to set up a time with one of my sales consultants, and they're going to talk to you about what it means to coach with us. Imagine having a call twice a month, one-on-one, with somebody like me who has no other alternative than to help you be successful in your business. We want to help you succeed. and we have all of the tools and the systems and the processes to be able to do that. But you have to make the choice. And the first choice you have to make is to be here, and I congratulate you for being on the call today. The second choice is now understand that what you focus on is how you feel. Focus on the right things. The third thing is you get to choose what things mean to you. Hey, the market's changing. What does that mean to you? It means there's a lot of opportunity. A bunch of agents are getting out of the business, or the market's changing. It means I'm going to have to, figure out how to get another job. You can choose what the change in the market means to you. The third thing is you get to decide what you're going to do now. What are you going to do? Are you going to quit? Are you going to wait and see what everybody else does? Or are you going to focus, get yourself a coach, and decide that it's time to grow? And then the fourth thing, and I'm going to wrap it up with this, is you get to decide to do the right things. You can choose, and that you no longer, I want to say this right, you have to choose not to accept that you don't have a choice, because you always have a choice. You have a choice on how to respond to things. You have a choice to what you're going to do every day. You have the power to make that choice. And I want you to make the choice to do something massive right now. Make a choice to do something bold in 2019. What is the one bold thing that you're going to do that it will make the biggest impact on your business, folks? So as we wrap this up today, I want you to take a minute. I want you to write in, this is my choice that I'm going to make in 2019. I want you to make a bold choice. And type it in so I see what your choices are. I'm going to print this out. Tell me what your choice is. Audra, is your choice to prospect 3 hours a day? Is your choice to get a coach? Is your choice to do something different? Choose to succeed. I love hire an assistant. Choose Red X. I love those. Keep them going. Get a coach. Christina, I think now's the time. Get the right coach. Charlene's going to farm consistently. I'm going to hire a buyer specialist. Love that. I'm going to double my income from last year. That's a great, bold choice. Julie, high five from me. Prospect daily. I love that. I'm going to do one more thing every day. Allison, I love it. I just got keeping current matters. Now I'm looking for a coach and hire my assistant. Okay. I'm going to choose to prospect 3 hours a day. Look, if you don't have any business, you should prospect 8 hours a day. I love that Sarah is your coach, Donna. I want your big, bold thing needs to do exactly what she tells you to do. Follow coaching advice. Oh, Landon. Landon, how you doing with hiring all your buyer's agents? I can't wait to see you at R4. I hope you're going to be there. Prospecting 3 hours a day is going to move the needle. Door knock my areas. I love it. Make sure if you're going to be at R4, come and see me there, and come and see me at the Teams event. We're going to be there. I cheers to work as a coach and a prospect. All right, everybody. Thank you for being on the call today. I love the energy of this group, and I love that you're doing these with me. I'm going to try and do one of these every month. For those of you that are already clients, thank you for engaging with Workman Success Systems and follow coaching advice. For those of you that aren't yet clients yet, sign up, get a coach, get a coaching consult, and let's move your needle to the next level. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you being here. Talk to you all soon.